Welcome to this video on experiment based on electrolytic tank assembly for high voltage engineering lab. I am standing in front of the experimental setup. The experimental setup mainly consists of this electrolytic tank assembly. This electrolytic tank it has got dimensions. It's a rectangular assembly and it has got length of 60 centimeters and the breadth is 50 centimeters. So this is a 60 centimeter by 50 centimeter tank, and it is mounted on a platform that is leveled. The platform is leveled, so there is a leveling arrangement here down at the bottom for achieving horizontal surface inside the tank. This tank is filled with the electrolyte or water, right, clean water, and the purpose of this particular electrolytic tank experiment is to plot the electric field lines. Generally, the behavior of electric fields in high voltage studies is of prime importance when we are dealing with testing of insulators, testing of power transformers and other high voltage equipments. So the distribution of electric field lines, this is generally invisible to the naked eyes, because electric field is in the form of invisible lines of forces. These at high voltages, the intensity of electric fields is so high that it tends to ionize the surroundings, nearby objects, air. Naturally, what happens is that in all high voltage electrical apparatus, care has to be taken in selecting the type of electrodes, the type of terminal leadouts, their physical dimensions, structure, because if the structure and dimensions is not known to us or is not selected properly, then the intensity of electric field may produce harmful effects. Okay, there may be corona happening near the sharp edges, especially pointed edges. So most of the time all high voltage assemblies require monitoring the nature of electric field lines. So this is the only experiment in the high voltage engineering laboratory which works with a very low voltage of 15 to 20 volt AC, and with the possibility of observing the behavior of electric lines of forces in the form of equipotential surfaces. Because whenever the lines they exist, we are able to see their presence in terms of measuring the potential inside an electrolytic volume, electrolytic tank volume. There are electrodes of this particular nature which are installed on fiberglass, and these are like two metal electrodes, right? Different types, different nature of electrode. These are the flat plate electrodes, and it is possible to connect the wires to these electrodes, and then these will be insulated from each other, mounted on this fiber base, and this will be inserted inside the tank through a spacing available here. Before we insert them, the electrical connection has to be supplied with a 15 to 20 volt AC supply, and once they are dipped inside the electrolytic tank, we will be able to check with the pantograph. This is a pantograph assembly. The tank potential lines or the electric field lines, electric field distribution within the electrolyte can be judged based on the position of a mobile terminal, or you may say a plunger, which will be moving across the area between the two electrodes, and we'll be measuring the potential across this mobile electrode and one of the reference terminals. So this is the basic assembly. This is the main supply, variable controlled supply, 0 to 20 volt AC, 50 hertz. And then after that we have got a multimeter for measurement of voltage when we take the observations, right? And then this particular assembly, this is an arm, okay? It has a capability to move across the full area of this tank, so that the electrode can be placed at any nook and corner, okay? This is called as a pantograph assembly. The purpose of this assembly is to mobilize the free electrode. So there are three terminals basically, two which are connected to the full supply across this flat plate, and they will be immersed inside the electrolytic tank. And next is the third terminal, with which we are going to measure the potential with respect to any one of the references marked on the main plates. So this is the basic setup, and for measuring the potential and marking the orientation of field lines, we require one graph paper, right? So here a graph paper will be required, a simple graph paper. And before we use the graph paper, it is a good practice to project the orientation of electrodes before they are immersed in the electrolyte onto the graph paper by simply noting the dimensions and drawing this electrode orientation on the graph paper. So once it is drawn, what will happen is that the electrodes, they will get immersed inside the tank, while the graph paper will be placed on top of the tank, such that the orientation of this graph paper and as that of the reference plate or the electrode plate, this will be matched. You can check the size of the paper and size of the plates, right? This is nearly an A4 size. So consequently, once we have taken the dimensions of these plates and drawn it on the graph paper, it will be easy with the help of a pantograph to align them together. This will be on the top plate. There is a fiber plate over here, okay? These electrodes are immersed in the tank, but the paper will be resting on the top fiber plate of the tank. It's a cover provided wherein the mapping can be done. Now let us check with the connections and how to take the observations. Let us now check through the connections that are to be made in this particular experiment. Pay attention that this is the main supply assembly with a voltage control knob here. This is a main switch, right? At present the supply is not yet given. This is a mains on indicator, and this is the voltage indicator. Generally, apart from this indicator or this meter, we are using a multimeter. So this one indicates the supply voltage, while this one will indicate the observations taken with respect to the moving electrode. For making the connections to this unit, you can see here at the right hand side of the unit, there are two terminals. They are labeled as electrode 1 and electrode 2, right? So as I told you earlier that there are different types of electrode assemblies pairs. So we are using flat plate type of electrode. So for using the flat plate electrode, what we do is first we connect. So here actually there are two wires, right? There are two wires available. One is a shorter wire and one is a larger wire. So we connect these two wires to the two electrodes. There are some small nuts, so we'll connect it here, right? And like this, and we also connect the second terminal as well. So see, what we have done is basically we have connected these two wires, supply electrode 1, electrode 2, to these electrodes mounted on the fiber plate, right? Then make sure that before immersing these electrodes in the water tank, right, we must have a drawing of these electrodes on the graph paper as a reference. Okay, so this is an exercise that is to be carried out by tracing the nature of electrode on the graph paper. So I'll just use some basic markings here, right, like this. So every group that undergoes the performance, they will be given. So see that these two electrodes and their reference drawing, I have noted it here on the graph paper. Now once their dimensions are marked onto the graph paper, the next connection that we have to do here is that of the pantograph. Please observe that this mobile arm, right, it has got one electrode mounted onto it on the pantograph. So that terminal is available here, right? So this terminal has to be incorporated into the voltmeter. This voltmeter must be set to AC voltage, and we have to connect it across. So let us go. This will be connected to the common point, right, reference point, and one free end of this multimeter, right, you see that pantograph, one of the terminal, it is connected to one point, that's a black color. The red one, that's a free point, the other point for the measurement of voltage. This will be connected to one of the electrodes. So I am connecting it to electrode 2. I am connecting it to electrode 2. So now this multimeter is connected between this free terminal and electrode 2. So as this terminal moves, the multimeter is going to show me the voltage that is developed across the free electrode and the electrode 2, which is the reference. So now we are ready with the setup, right? Now what we do is we have to keep this particular assembly immersed inside the electrolytic tank. Now once we have connected the electrodes, connections are already we have seen earlier for all the elements in the circuit. Now we have to place these electrodes which are connected to the 20 volt AC supply. Okay, the supply is not yet switched on. We have to first ensure that supply remains off while we are working. We have to immerse this inside the tank from the right hand side, but make sure that the alignment of this particular plate matches with the rectangular. The edges of the plate will be parallel to the edges of the tank, and it has to be placed in the center inside the tank at the bottom. Okay, so I am going to insert this, right? Fine. So the electrode is placed inside it, right, and it is placed exactly at the center of the tank. Minor adjustment might be done with respect to noting the position. For example, this pantograph can be moved across the electrode positions inside the tank, and this graph paper can be adjusted accordingly. So I am doing that bit of adjustment for aligning this particular graph paper drawing with the electrode, actual electrode drawing is there on the graph paper, and actual electrode is immersed inside the electrolyte inside the tank. Paper is placed on the glass top. So it is almost like aligned here. I have taken all the care, right? Now the next thing is that we have to put a pencil or a marker like this. A pencil or a marker must be placed inside this particular pinhole, so that whatever position in this pantograph we are moving across the paper, make sure that we are able to use a pencil thin enough or a pen thin enough that this makes a mark on the paper through this pinhole. So this arm has an assembly that the pencil will be able to make a mark on the paper. Okay. So while we are making a mark on the paper and moving it with respect to the orientation of these electrodes, right, what we have to do is we ensure that the paper, that is a graph paper, does not move from its position. So one thing that can be done here is to keep some heavy object or maybe a scale or something that will keep it located in one single position. Now what I will do is I am going to apply some standard reference voltage and then start taking the observations. Now we are going to start with the performance of this experiment. So all the things are connected. This is the power supply unit. It is connected to the 230 volt AC supply panel. So first of all, I'll switch on this one. Before switching on the main supply switch on the control panel, we must ensure that the voltage control knob, it is at the full anti-clockwise position, and so also we can see that the multimeter, it is showing 0 voltage because no power supply is given. So that's why the multimeter reading, which is the voltage of this mobile electrode with respect to one of the reference electrode, is showing out to be 0. Now what I'll do is switch on the power supply, and after switching on the power supply you can see that the orange lamp will glow showing that the power supply is available, and then we adjust the voltage. You have to observe the supply voltage visible on the dial meter, analog meter. We give a voltage of approximately 15 to 20 volts, so I have set it now at 15 volts. Once this is applied 15 volts, now we come to the tank side. Right. Now once the setup is ready and the electrodes are there inside the tank, and the drawing of electrodes projected onto the graph paper and graph paper placed over the glass top, right, and so also a pencil or a pen is inserted in this pinhole on the pantograph to mark the points of equipotential lines. So these are ready, and we can observe here that the multimeter is also showing the observations. Now what I'll do is, for marking the equipotential lines, right, I am having the projection of flat plate electrodes on the paper here aligned to it, right. What we'll do is we are going to move closer to, let us say this is the first electrode and here it is drawn, it is second electrode. So we move closer to the first electrode, but we don't move the plunger exactly in such a manner that it touches the electrode. Rather we keep it in such a manner that it is just maybe 2-3 centimeters away from it, and then what we do is we mark a point on the paper like this by moving the plunger. So here you can see a point is marked. You can alternately move this one and encircle, and again you can see if you place it here, right? So when you are marking it, kindly note down what is the reading here. So it is showing now 4.7 volts, right? So in some separate notebook, this point may be noted at point number 1, what is the potential. Then we try to move this plunger parallel to the electrode, first electrode, and again try to adjust the position of this electrode such that we again get the same potential as obtained in the earlier case. So earlier we obtained a potential of 4.6 volts. Again I am moving it across parallel to this electrode and noting this value. Here it is 4.6 volts. So this point is noted with the help of this marker. Again I move parallel to this and try to adjust this voltage to 4.6 as obtained for the first two readings. So by this way, what we are trying to do is we try to mark at least 4 to 5 points near one of the electrodes first. So we can clearly see that there are 4 points marked. One is this, okay, this is second, and this is third, right, and this is fourth. All these points, they are having potential as equal to 4.6. So let me place it here, and you can see that the potential is coming out to be 4.6. Same process is repeated by moving the electrode across the second terminal close to the second electrode, same manner, and again we go on marking the potentials, and like this, maybe I am setting it to 9.3 volts, right? Again moving it parallel, again adjust the position, 9.3 volts. There may be some variation of 0.1 volt variation, because it may not be possible for you to arrive at exact point. So this way we move across and mark 4 to 5 points which are having same potential. So this way if we join them, these are forming an equipotential lines. This way we have formed, these are equipotential lines. So by knowing the nature of potential distribution, we can judge the orientation of electric field lines with the help of a simple yet very effective electrolytic tank assembly.